What's up, rockers from all across the world? Welcome to another interview on Horns Up. I'm here pre-show at Chain Reaction in Anaheim, California, with what I like to consider the last true great American songwriter, Shawn James.
That's a hefty title there, man. But I'll take it from you. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for coming, man. I know we had a little mix up in schedule over at the Peppermint Lounge in Los Angeles last night.
Yeah, it happened. As soon as you messaged me and saying you were going to be there till 8:45, I was like, oh no.
Oh, I didn't even believe it. I'm like, why is he going on at 8? I'm like, no way. Who's a headlining act going on at 8 o'clock on a Friday fucking night?
It happens sometimes. I think they had another event afterwards, and they were just, it's all good. Making the best of it. You're here now, so it's all good.
Which, thank you. Thank you for the reschedule. And
hell yeah,
here, man. So it's going to this year. So you released a new album, The Dark and the Light, and I've been following you for a long time. Like I was telling you before, how I found you on YouTube by accident with Flow and the live version of that. And now you've been touring nonstop with this new album out.
Yeah.
How has touring been all over the U.S.? How has the fans, venues, and all that stuff happening?
Man, I love touring because that's where you really prove, in my opinion, like what you do. And, you get to meet the people that listen to the music and make it possible. And you get to see the effects that something you create can have on people. And The Dark and the Light there's hugely personal songs and there's other stuff, so it's been interesting seeing people's reaction to everything. You know what I mean?
And I totally agree with that, because from this year alone, I've already caught you 2 other times in San Clemente at the Coach House, and then at House of Blues in the Parish. And it's interesting talking to other fans and hearing their stories about how they connect with your music, because you write a certain way that tells a story, and you may mean it from one perspective of your life, but it's hitting them in a different perspective.
Yeah, that blew my mind when I started touring and hearing about what other people thought the song was about or the way it hit them. Like, it's a beautiful thing, and I don't think I preemptively try to do that when I'm writing a song, but a lot of times it happens like that. It can have a bigger context than just the one definition that I wrote it as.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. The beautiful thing about music, though, is how everyone takes it in their own perspective way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we come together for it. Now, with this kind of like Groundhog Day touring you've been doing nonstop, literally every night and day, somewhere different.
Right.
I mean, for an aspiring artist, especially in the songwriter sense, how would you feel that, what would be a tip or something you do that helps you with touring, keeps you sane, keeps you alive and not go crazy, waking up in a different city, different area code?
I like it. I like the lifestyle of it. Like I kind of thrive on that day to day and just wild vibe of that. And I don't know, a good night's sleep and just like I said again, I get energy. There's some people are introverts and people are extroverts. I get energy by meeting the people that come out to the shows and hearing the stories of how the music affects them. So yeah, it's and working out on the road a little bit, getting good sleep. You got to have some sort of healthy regimen, eating right and all that. It helps a lot. But
how about liquid carbs?
Yeah. Every now and then I'll go a little too hard on that.
But you also have had a couple of interesting things popped up on the road as well, like in Denver, car kind of swerving out. And
well, there was a snowstorm, and we're leaving to go to the next show. And I see this guy coming and merging. I'm like, all right, he's got plenty of room. It's going to be all right. And then he cuts too quick. He spins out and he just slams us in the right. Snapped our tire off. So it was kind of a shitty situation. I didn't expect it. And it hurt me because I was like, it's been 8 years of touring, and I've never been in a car accident or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Well, thankfully no one was hurt.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
I mean, that's always the good thing. Like, God forbid, it's fucking, you're on a snowstorm and someone gets hurt, the car topples into the fire, and the next thing you know, a T-Rex.
I was worried about other hits after we got hit that initial time. So we're very lucky that nothing happened for sure.
And then you got hit again with the spring leaf on your trailer.
Yeah, on the way to Phoenix, we were going through these mountain passes, and I think we just took a bounce too quick, and it just snapped it. But these 2 older guys at this tire shop were able to like hook us up in 20 minutes, so that one worked out good.
Heck yeah, just
keep moving, man. You just keep moving forward. Shit's gonna happen on the road. That's just life.
So let's going back into this new album that you released last year in 2018, you just signed a new deal with a new record company, Parts and Labor.
Right.
And how you liking them? I mean, how they treating you and all that good stuff.
I love them, man. You know, I've been really avoidant of labels in the past. I've had other offers and stuff, but it always feels like sometimes like a shady business deal, you know. And with Parts and Labor, they're an independent, and what I feel from working with them is it just seems like I have a team now. You know, multiple people who are all good at what they do, who all come together and make it execute better than I could on my own. It's like having 4 or 5 of me. You know what I mean? And so it's a beautiful thing. They're treating me perfect. We're touring more than ever. You know, yeah, everything's good.
So I guess that's a good transition going into like this new stream to play and putting out musics and record deals and cuts and pays and all that stuff. And you know, you have your albums out. But while you're putting out your albums throughout the years, you're consistently putting out new work, whether it be YouTube, new acoustic variations from shows that you're doing and stuff like that. Do you think this age of records every couple of years is dying out as opposed to a constant stimulation of music throughout the year?
I think it's completely dependent on the artist. You know, like now we get the choice to do what we want. If you want to do the, you know, every 2 years album, you can, and maybe that's how an artist feels good about their release schedule and just how they are. But for me, every time I perform a song, especially the acoustic versions and stuff, are completely different, and they'll bring on a new emotion or a new feeling that I didn't perform it with before. You know what I mean? It's impossible to perform it in the same way because, I don't know, I'm just not that kind of artist. But I don't think anything negative has come from that. And yeah, I think that people do want more consistency from their artists, and I think it's a proving grounds of, are you real, or do you need to go into a studio every 2 years with kind of like this smoke and mirror effect to make it seem like you actually do it? Like, I do this shit every day. I love this shit. And I think having that ability now with the internet and YouTube and all this stuff makes it more and more possible to show that to people and kind of give them something that's real and genuine, hopefully.
Well, it's like, you know, the more creative and soul and depth you have, you're going to be found no matter what. You know, you're going to get that one person that finds you on YouTube or whatever on a Spotify recommendation playlist. Right. Like, oh shit, I want to share this with somebody else. So you still can find that organic growth.
Absolutely.
Just from that alone.
I go hunting on Spotify all the time looking for new stuff. So, you know, hours of driving on the road, you got nothing but time.
Well, then I guess a fun throw in there, because it's always interesting to hear, you know, what artists are listening to, because people don't expect what their artists are going to be listening to on their Spotify playlist or iTunes Music and stuff like that. What's someone you got heavy rotated right now?
I've been listening to this guy named St. John out of Houston. I actually listen to a lot of hip hop and rap.
See,
to be quite honest, a lot of people wouldn't expect it from me, but I just think that, you know, I think that genre and the culture around it has a lot to say that's honest and that needs to be said, and there's a beautiful truth to it, you know, like a sad poeticness, but yeah. But
it's like music genres dip into other styles no matter what, and that's how you guys get creative. That's how you change and evolve.
And I think the flow, and I love listening to, like, you know, rappers with really, really good flow and who do something new, because it inspires me the way I might execute a word, the way I might sing a word. I didn't think about the way they did that, the way they pronounced that, the way that. So I'm thinking about that kind of stuff, and rap does that so much, and it's just like a learning school for me. You know what I mean?
It's so funny with a band I'm friends with. It's a heavy metal band. One of their pre-shows, we put on Outkast. Right before the pre-show, they get on the most heavy metal band you can think of. All right, we're gonna go out to Outkast right now.
Fuck yeah, I love it.
Curveball. But going back into this music and streaming and stuff like that, and so with this streaming age coming out right now, you know, this stream to play, iTunes is gone. You have iTunes Music you can pay, Spotify, Pandora, all this crap, Amazon Prime with their music streaming. Do you think this new streaming age is a great platform for an artist to be found a little bit easier, as opposed to like back in the MySpace days, hey, go find me on MySpace and listen to my music? Or do you think it's created now a digital monopoly on self-promotion and paying yourself to be noticed above another band?
It's a good question. I think the access is better than it's ever been now. And at the core, I think that's a good thing, You know, like if someone wants to find you, you're there. You know, and they have the act, and they know how to, and they have a huge library, and I think it's great. But I also think that there is this competitive kind of vibe to it. You know, you get these playlisters, and what can I do to get on this playlist and get notoriety and blah, blah, and it's cool and everything, but really it's about exposure. You know, I'm just happy that I'm able to get out to people, and like I said, and people are vibing. I never thought I'd be able to do this, you know, like ever. And with the help of YouTube and Spotify and all these other places, iTunes and all that, it's helped it kind of keep growing. So it's hard to see it as a negative when it's impacted me so positively.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sure other people have experiences, but in mine, I've had nothing but positive experiences from it. So
I agree. It's a negative and pro thing on there, because as I'm seeing it on, especially on certain radio stations and stuff like that, and how you can pay to be promoted to get more rotation and stuff like that.
I hate that. Yeah. Is it just computers that are doing it from a...
I don't know how they're doing it. I know some record companies do pay to have their artists pay more and play more.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
get featured more, get a front page. Yeah.
But at the same time, you can have one music director say, I like this artist a little bit more, and choose that over.
I've had that happen randomly. Like, it's kind of how like the Sony PlayStation Last of Us thing happened. The creative director of the game just found my stuff on YouTube and loved it, and just decided to put it in his video game, which propelled me through the roof which I guarantee you know that game, and everybody fucking knows Last of Us, and so now you're never gonna look him up again, and you're like, oh shit, you're right. So the character Ellie sings my song Through the Valley in the trailer, and overnight it gave me a huge boost. But that's the point, though. You could have people pitching that kind of stuff all over the place, but when it comes kind of from the ground up and from a real place, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you can't even beat that. I mean, that we got a growth from that, from alone, for people looking up and YouTubing and finding it, and then like, oh shit, damn.
Exactly, man.
So now let's go into your creative process and kind of wrapping it up like this. You have seen like an endless soul in your music, because I know you're kind of like a nomad lifestyle and been all over the United States and looking at different things and stories and things to tell.
Right.
And you're a unique storyteller in your music, and you have a depth and soul behind it. How do you keep it going? How do you find it to write these lyrics?
To be quite honest, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface. Like, when I was younger, I was obsessed with, stories, mythology, legend, and I just was constantly reading and doing that stuff. And I don't know, I just feel like I have a lot more to say and a lot more to do, and I don't know why. It's just there. I feel it. And the beautiful thing is, when you get into writing concept songs or concept albums, then you can expand everything, or a character song. Yeah. Like Through the Valley. I didn't write Through the Valley about myself. It was a character that I created. Then I put myself in the shoes, and then imagine how it would feel, and then write from that perspective. When you get into like so many different ways you can write, it's endless. And like I want to touch other genres. I haven't even, I want to do more R&B stuff. I want to do more rock and roll stuff. I want to do more heavy metal stuff. I want to do more folk stuff, blues, whatever. Like I feel like I haven't even begun, man. I just love it.
It sounds like you're going like a highly suspect right now, switching up some stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I just don't want to be known for one thing and always do that. I get bored.
What you have still evolved from like your early stuff when you put out, and you mean self-published.
Absolutely.
It's a total evolved from like this kind of like rustic Western vibe to like now this blues, almost funk American soul to it.
Yeah.
Especially with this dark and light.
It's kind of something I've always wanted to do, and I don't know, I didn't have the means to do it and pull it off, and now that we're here and I do, it's fun to experiment and try new things and see where it's going to go. And my thing is, I can always go and do what I've done in the past. It's easy. You know what I mean? Like it's who I was, and I can tap back into that, but I just want to keep moving forward and try some new stuff and see what's out there and what's possible.
It's kind of like, not to knock on them, because everybody knows Social Distortions. Like,
sure,
you never want to be that band. It's like, that band because they have that one band, and they're always going to be that one sound.
And I mean, sometimes it's all right. That's fine. I'm not talking shit on that. No, it's not me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like some people have that one thing, and that's what they love, and they're like that to the core, and I support them, but I can't do that. I get bored.
So then, what's coming up for the end of the year and going into 2020? You know?
The end of the year. So this tour ends November 21st, and I'm gonna take a couple months off, and I'm gonna write, because I tend not to write while I'm on the road, but while performing and touring, you're playing the same songs that you've already written. So I get this built up, kind of pent up energy where I need to write, and so the wintertime is great for that.
Okay.
You know, so I'm gonna do that, and then 2020 we're going back to Europe and UK, and then a lot more US touring and everything in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, excited. Are you going to release any new singles or anything coming and going on that, or just gonna...
Absolutely.
Right.
I've written a new song already. I can't go into too much detail on it, but yeah, there's something coming out early next year, and then we're going to be releasing new live videos, acoustic performances of songs from The Dark and the Light too, because a lot of people ask for that. You know, they're like, I love this built up band thing, but I love your acoustic stuff. So we're matching every single song on the record with its own acoustic live performance.
Okay, like some of the stuff you did on Sirius XM out in New York.
Exactly. And I love that shit. I thrive on that, you know.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you so much again for your time here before.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to have all his information, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, if he has a grinder maybe. Put it all on there. You can find us. Swipe left, whatever you need to do. Thank you for watching another episode of Horns Up, and always keep your horns up everywhere you go.
Take it easy, y'all.